Um, there we go. Good afternoon, everybody. It is officially 12:04. Welcome to Digital PNA. Great to see everybody. I'm going to go ahead and share screen and just making sure. Can we all see that? Excellent. Okay, so thanks for coming to Digital PNA. It is your 100% online, technically no longer 100% new, but that's still sexy. And it's a whole new level of exposure since PNA, Digital PNA, excuse me, covers the entire Pacific Northwest. And when Karen's here, Arizona, everyone's favorite snowbird village. Gonna go ahead and skip to the next screen here. That's my bobblehead. I'm the president. No one cares. Move on to more important things. Look at this. We've got some members. We are looking to grow as always. I don't know if anyone knows a really cool property and casualty and more business insurance company. Just, you know, and Errol Flynn fans, just saying he could cover the entire Pacific Northwest as well with more exposure. If anybody knows someone like that, reach out to him possibly. And if you're a sponsor, then I pay you a nice little thank you bonus. So last time I checked, the only organization that does that, because darn it, I'm thankful. Let's get some volunteers. We need to have some people do some tracking, specific forms of tracking. Photographer, you can snag a photo. I don't even know why I wrote it as snag, but you can snap a photo. You can physically turn around and do a selfie or something like that with the screen in the background. You can do screen grabs, share things out, whatever. Do a fun little promo moment once Mike gets here. However, but if you want to track something and put it in the chat window, we can turn it on.
I'll be a photographer today.
Okay. Is that your way of telling me to shut up? How about a tracker? Listens for quotables. If Mike is, going to talk about his new company, so there's probably going to be some data points you might want to track and point out. You can put that in the chat window if you want to, or scribble it and send it afterwards.
I can do that.
Thank you, Mara. Appreciate that. Doodler, somebody who gets to have extra fun during the meeting. It's permission to screw around. Previously, we literally had Mike do some horrifyingly bad but hilarious pencil sketch doodles of each and every one of us in our cubes, and it was funny. He posted that for us. And anyone want to doodle, or in case you're inspired by some number dropping that happens, create your own pie chart. Got 2 people left here.
I will do the timer.
Maybe different.
I am not a doodler.
Okay, so Matt's gonna time. Awesome. So Matt, the only thing you really need to know is that, and I think, you've been here once before at least, speeches are 20 minutes. So warning at 10 minutes and 18, 19 minutes or so, you give them another warning. If you don't have the red backgrounds or whatever, that's fine. You can just wave or make a donkey sound or something. Be creative. I guess I'm stuck doodling since Rosie's in the car. And I've never done it. I don't really want to do it, but this is being recorded, so I have to man up. Okay. Done doodling. 60-second commercial time. Again, if you've never given one before, but you all have, this is where you talk about who you are, what you do, maybe something that separates you from your competition. Kill the shared screen here, and let's do that. Rosie, give us your commercial. We're going to start with you.
Sure. Hi, Rosie with Taft Services, and yes, I am in the car right now, as Brian pointed out. So I actually had a PNA meeting, and so I was, with Olympia, so I was just like, oh shoot, now I have another one. So, anyways, what TAP does is provide bookkeeping services for small, medium-sized companies. We don't turn away large companies if you know any as well. And what I like to say our niche is probably anything with inventory. We love inventory, restaurants, clients that have e-commerce, because we are very good with Shopify, Amazon, Stripe, PayPal, and all the nightmares that all the business owners like to say they are. So but for me, it's fun because they don't realize that you can actually start doing what's called cash flow projections with a lot of these e-commerce platforms, because sales come in and they don't realize like how much is coming in until it's actually put on a nice spreadsheet for them, and they're just like, oh wow, okay, I actually am doing semi good. Or they'll have a dip and they have to prepare for that. So it's kind of like we really like to work with clients like that. So That is me in a nutshell. Or no, we don't do tangents right now, right? We do it after.
Correct.
Okay.
We'll do that in a minute.
That's it.
Thank you, Rosie.
Uh-huh.
Mike, let's hear from you next. I guess I meant to say Matt. I'm sorry, Mike. If you're still settling in, take a deep breath. We'll have Matt go.
Hi, everyone. My name is Matt. I'm with CalRose Insurance in Everett, and we do auto, home, and business insurance. And kind of the things that make us different is we like to make a personal connection with our clients. Where there's a lot of insurance agents that they never want to hear from you ever again. We are not that. We also focus a lot on education. We try to make insurance accessible. You understand what in the world this stuff does. Or the most popular question right now, why in the world is my insurance so freaking expensive from last year or the year before that or the year before that? There's actually a long, complex reason for that. I'll bore you with that later. And then lastly, we try to breed trust by helping you understand how insurance works and contextualizing that advice to you exactly. So we actually we translate insurance into English instead of the other way around. So a particular referral and a business that we help out better than vast majority of agencies out there is food trucks. If you know a food truck business, it's not just that I can quote them. It's not just that I can save them money. The last food truck that I worked on, we improved their coverage in 3 different places that they had never had before, and we saved them over $12,000. So I mean that very, very seriously. So if you know anyone like that, I'd love to help them. Matt with CalRose Insurance.
That's a lot of tacos. Thank you, Matt. It's fantastic. Crap, now I really want a taco. Marcel, let's have you give your advertisement.
Hey, can't even speak today. Good everyone, afternoon. You know what I mean. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marcel, and apparently I need to go back to school and work on my copywriting because my words this morning are fumbling. And as you can see, let's see here on this side, there are over 25 tactics that you can literally be leveraging every week with social media. My job is to come alongside a business owner or a marketing team, find out what they have and find out what might be missing. Some of these move the needle regarding sales, some for customer service, some for financial management, some for leadership or product development even. So there's a lot of different ways social media can work for you. It's not about does social media work, so what are we doing? Is it effective? And how do we measure that? So if you know somebody who's just kind of not sure if it's working and they want some assistance, I would love to help them identify where their gaps are and help them improve the elements that maybe make them lackluster on the internet. Marcella Dreamosity, thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Marcel. Michael, your turn, sir. We promise to forget everything you say because of your upcoming presentation.
Well, one, apologize for being late. 2, it is great to see all of you. Matt, haven't seen you for a while. Nice to see you.
I know, right?
Yeah, and since I've last seen you, Matt, I've moved from a great company, BizX, which is a business-to-business barter company, to the Puget Sound Business Journal, which is the trusted and reliable and credible source of business news and information in and around the Pacific Northwest. The Puget Sound Business Journal reaches, and by being that trusted source, it in fact aggregates an audience of business owners and decision makers, which is a terrific thing to get in front of if you are a business that is doing business with other business. See how I use the word business so much? I'm impressing upon you that Business Journal is in fact a B2B vehicle for communication, including advertising, reaching 50,000 readers in terms of print each week, as well as about 450,000 unique visitors to our website each month. Most of those are decision makers. Most of those are, many of those, a good 58% are owners or founders or CEOs of companies. We like to say you can get in front of the people who can say yes with the Puget Sound Business Journal. If you know of any companies that want to get in front of that type of audience, and it need not cost a mint, I'd love to talk to them.
Okay. Wow. So everybody, once again, forget everything you said because he's going to give a 20-minute version of that in just a few minutes. Okay.
I have no doubt people forget right away.
Numbers. Okay. Mara, let's hear from you.
All right. Hi, Mara Hilton. I'm the owner of Sound Care Agency. We are a backup care company. I know many of you know this, for in-home care for children and also adults. And we work with businesses to be able to offer that as a benefit and have it be a business expense where they can provide emergency care for their employees to stay at work, whether it's for productivity or recruitment and retaining their existing workforce. It's becoming the norm to offer backup care here in the Pacific Northwest. Already over 210 employers already offer it. So we work directly with businesses for that. We also work with families directly that might need to hire a permanent nanny or a summer nanny. We are also a recruiting agency for not only our backup care team, but for also families directly. So that's what we do. Mara Hilton, Sound Care Agency.
Awesome. Mara, thank you. Brian Tranler, everybody. Hi, Laugh Tech. I co-own it with Miss Marcel Allen. We do amazing things. We help people discover their mix, and that's not a cooking show. That is although you'll be cooking if you take our sessions or work with us or let us work with you or your teams, because there's so much boring out there and there's so much death by PowerPoint. There's so many presentations that lose their lift and lose their excitement after like seconds. We just rolled out a year-long program called Lift, ironically, where we can help companies on a regular basis, accountability, a monthly fee for hours of our time and service, working with management, working with staff, and staff being salespeople as well as admin, people inside the corporation, help fix what needs to be improved upon. It's already great. Let's make it better. And we're just excited to do what we do. We don't have a lot of truly identified competition. We're not business coaches, we're success coaches, because you're already doing something really amazing and we want to make it better, but also memorable and likable and listenable, so businesses or individuals become ROI-able. As you can tell, we're very scientific-ish, make up a lot of words, but it's fun. So if you want to learn more, send those boring people our way or give us a call and we'll see how we can help. Yay. Okay, so tangent time, boys and girls. I like this part, it's fun. And now my screens have all disappeared. Oh my God. All right, so slideshow and this. We are going to go to this. Our tangent is very simple, but I'd be curious to see what type of answers we get. What key features do you use most on your phone for creating content? Or do you? Okay, so that can also be a nope, I don't. But if you do, is it the camera? Do you use voice memos? Do you use a specific app to help you succeed in creating content? We want to hear from you. And okay, I admit I did call Marcel and said, help me with the tangent today. So this is her baby. So we're going to let her go first. And she's like, crap. So I want to hear from you first, Marcel. Give it to us in regard to the tangent, see what we come up with. Go.
Camera, voice memo, or a specific app. I actually use the voice memo tool quite a bit. I record things and then I recraft them to make them better. Then they get to camera. So it's a combination, I would say, of voice memo and camera. And then I love Instagram the most right now in terms of social media apps. There you go. Can I pass it off to Matt?
Yeah. Hot potato. Matt.
For business, honestly, I'm still using TikTok the most. Part of it's just because that's where I get the most success. And I'm doing a lot of video content on there. So, yeah, that's so it's the video camera and then TikTok, because that's one of the things that's interesting about that specific space is there's not as many businesses on there creating content, and with how the algorithm is structured, especially if you're newer, it's pretty designed to give instant incentives to a new user that creates content. And so you will find easy success there quicker than other platforms. So yeah, that's one that I use.
So Matt, I have to ask, are you generating income off of TikTok by way of syndication, listens, views, hits, whatever? Or are you having people call and say, my God, I loved your topic, take my
Both.
insurance?
It's now grown for me. It's grown to the point where that I am actually getting paid by the platform to use it, which is awesome and completely shocking considering something as boring as insurance. I've actually gotten more than one video to go over 1 million views. But it's crazier things have happened, I guess. And then I design it so that way the only link that is in my bio is one that sends you. If you click on it, it sends all of your personal information, your personal insurance information to me. Obviously, you have to click a few buttons before it's going to do that. But so it's both a lead generator for us for quote opportunities, and then also direct revenue in and of itself.
Wow. Okay. That's amazing. All right. Well, Mara, beat that.
Yeah, I can't. We actually had someone for a while helping us with TikTok, and she was wicked smart and hilarious, and I'm just not as witty to be out there doing that. I'm still learning how to use my phone more. I mean, on my desktop, I've been using Canva for a long time for the business to, create ads and whatnot. And I had Marcel come over last month and go through how to use take a video and get it up on there quickly. So I'd say my camera still, I
Okay.
haven't even attempted voice memos yet. I'm just behind.
Oh no, I am behind. Okay, Rosie, let's hear from you.
I would say right now I probably use the camera mostly, but not like for video. It's like just taking pictures and then posting a note to like Facebook or something like that. I know Marcel has tried to encourage me to do video and I haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay. Mike.
The Imperial we are well behind. And we cop to that. There is, of course, in my business here, people who create content. They're the news people. I'm on the business side, and in many cases, never the twain shall meet in terms of engineering outreach. I can't borrow from them with their credibility and use it in sales with free license. So they're sort of sitting in between those two camps is our events. We are using the events as a way to generate content. We can do better, and I think we have a distinct plan to better use our phones, the cameras on our phones, in the moment at events to create marketable content. And while we are not there yet, it is something that we have distinct plans against.
Cool. Okay. Excellent. Well, folks, my answer for those of you who follow LaughTech, for example, or even PNA Northwest online, is thanks to the tutelage and guidance and extreme patience from Marcel. I mean, heck, I'm a speech coach, and it's even difficult for me, right? So I'm getting more comfortable in the moment. And it's interesting because if I'm doing auctioneering work, I'm now realizing that it's not always appropriate for the auctioneer or MC, even as I'm working the floor, to whip out my phone and try to do stuff like that. So I'm actually finding interesting limitations and trying to figure out ways around that, like before and after stuff more than anything versus during. And that's difficult because during is where the meat and potatoes are, right? But I can't do that. So that's been interesting. But I'm definitely not getting anything done on TikTok. I just found out recently I have an account. So apparently I set it up at one point. But I don't even have the app. So it must have just been one of those, drunken things or something. But point is, I think I think I'm close to needing to be on TikTok because of the content that Marcel and I want to create together. I think there's merit to getting on based off all the reasons Matt said. I think there's much more potential and reach there until, of course, the government shuts us down and TikTok will go away and we'll all be screwed. But we'll see, right? So interesting tidbits. Thank you all for participating. I thought that was cool. You always learn something here. If not, what you could be doing is what you should be doing. I'm going to go ahead and share screen again. Mike, will you need to share screens after I'm done with this portion?
I will need
Okay.
to share screens.
Okay, so just a quick second here, in case you didn't see his bobblehead. Here's another bobblehead.
Oh, look at that.
This is Mike Enberg.
We got to change that picture.
Well, it's your MySpace photo. It's still legit. It's good. Got your information there. And,
yeah, the heady days of MySpace. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know if you had a website that you want to talk about later, or maybe that's on your slides, but I have some of your basic information here. And apparently it's Menberg, in case you all forget. It's easy to remember. And now I'm going to go ahead and stop share and just say, Mike, thank you for presenting today. Looking forward to it. Matt will be your timer. So once we get to, or once you start sharing screens, try to make sure you maintain Matt's head, his bobblehead on the screen. And apparently he's already started. So I need to make you host.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Go for it. We're here for it.
So thank you. And I'm going to share my screen to this.
Just remember to clear your browser. This is the family show.
Yeah, exactly. Can everybody see this?
Yes, sir.
Is it in the display mode?
Oh no, we see your. There we go.
There we go. Okay. Well, thank you. And as I alluded to earlier, I've been here a grand total of 7 weeks. So this is more about this opportunity, which is a great opportunity. Thank you. I'm going to frame this as the life of an ad part 1, about how advertising works here at the Puget Sound Business Journal, and in effect how it works, at least the first part of the process. I figured part 1 and part 2 worked for Dune, so I thought it should probably work for my presentation here. And to level set, a brief statement about the Puget Sound Business Journal is that we are a source of news and data and networking. It is great to be here. The Puget Sound Business Journal has been around for a while. It has lots of different nuances and what we call products. I am still learning about that. But what attracts me to the Puget Sound Business Journal the most is the process. It's not a transactional type of advertising vehicle. And I've worked for transactional vehicles where the key is just go out there and sell and then move on to the next one. This is much more a relationship focused vehicle. And we have long-term relationships and desire to build long-term relationships. It need not be advertising relationships. It's long-term relationships in the business community. I like relationships. That's how I frame what I do, building relationships that sometimes lead to transactions and sometimes don't. And that's great. The relationships are the key. And that is that's built in, that's baked into the Puget Sound Business Journal. Also baked in now is that the Business Journal has a variety of different types of ways to engage an audience. We do a print newspaper, comes out on Fridays. You should all be subscribers. And if you're not, let me know, and maybe I can get you to be a subscriber, because it is a vehicle that provides a lot of terrific information about local business. Of course, we have a digital component, and that is probably how we reach the most people each month. As I said, about 450,000 unique visitors per month. The information in the print vehicle is information that you'd find in the digital vehicle. The form factor is different, and you probably find more information digitally. The digital and the print work together to create an information environment, and both generate advertising revenue because both are ways to get in front of the audience. Really exciting is the events that we do. We do about 25 events per year, and those are the secret sauce. That's how you get, how you activate, how you engage with both other members of the business community and potentially your customers. and the events are extraordinarily well done. Some of them are lunches, some of them are cocktail hours, some of them are seminars, some of them are just pure networking. Events are really what I'm going to focus on a lot in how I reach out to people here at the Puget Sound Business Journal. That may be part 2 of my presentation, but right now I'm going to really talk about print and digital and the dynamic of how we reach out to companies who want to get their message in front of that audience. And that audience tends to be affluent, tends to be decision makers, tends to be owners, partners, and top management. So it's in effect a qualified audience. You think of print sometimes as being traditional and broad. Yes, it can be, but in effect, the Puget Sound Business Journal, which is part of a network, a national network of American city business journals, is a targeted vehicle to reach business decision makers. That is predominantly who we reach in the Puget Sound Business Journal. I like to say those are the people who can say yes, because lots of people can say no, but the people at the I want to say top of the food chain, business-wise, are the ones who can say yes. And they tend to be engaged in what we do. They read the issues, they subscribe to the newsletters, they visit the website. It's a tool to reach a qualified audience of people in business. So that was all level set. You know, the first question that a lot of more and more I find people are asking is, why should I advertise at all? And it's a good question. It's a question that has a lot of answers. With nods to David Letterman, who I hope we all remember, there are answers. And you know what? These all answers, like brand loyalty and company traffic and positive image, et cetera, you can just sort of say blah, 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 blah here. These are all valid. But that number one answer is the most important answer, is that advertising makes your company money. It functions as an investment. And there is, most often, when done right, to the right audience, a positive, a distinctly positive, a discernibly positive, a measurably positive return on that investment. So we can talk about, and I do, all the other reasons a company should advertise. Building brand equity is a really strong one. But at the end of the day, there's one reason a company should advertise, and that is to make money, to generate business, to create customers who spend money with that company. So once we talk about why advertise, the process here, my process is really first to do a discovery meeting, to find out, to talk to the company and really determine what they want to do, what their desired business result is. And it's very iterative. It is very much a volley of back and forth. It can take the form of a face-to-face meeting. It can take the form like this of a video meeting. It doesn't work as well in email correspondence because it needs to be a conversation. The idea of this discovery meeting is to learn what a company wants to do, what their goals are. Build the beginning of an information set that really becomes the what I need in order to go back and do my job. So with discovery meetings, I should mention that when you're talking to companies that want you to advertise with them, if they're not doing a discovery meeting, think long and hard about what they really want from you. They want, if they don't do a discovery meeting, they want to simply wrest your dollars from your hand. A discovery meeting is an essential component. It's the most important part of the life of an ad, because the discovery meeting can tell you, the potential advertiser, if the advertising vehicle, the representative of that advertising vehicle, is serious about making a difference in your business world. And it can certainly tell the representative of the advertising vehicle whether this is going to be a successful venture, whether we can actually help. In fact, at a discovery meeting, I will often find that there's not much I can help with. And in that case, while I can offer consultative services and information and my experience, I wouldn't and shouldn't offer them a way to spend advertising dollars with us. So that discovery meeting, which is free, which can be something that doesn't take a long time, which results in often good information that I can impart to that company or that potential prospect, is something to avail oneself of. If you can engineer a discovery meeting with your potential advertising partner, because it will pay dividends, and it doesn't cost you a thing. It is the go or no go part of the advertising process. You want to be as explicit as possible. You want to determine thank you, Matt. You want to determine what exactly is the problem to solve and what is the metric of success. And in fact, those are the two key questions. What do you want to solve by working with this company? Are they working with you? And how do you measure whether or not you solve that? Those two pieces of information are what becomes the foundation for everything you do from that moment on as the advertising rep. Again, if your conversations with the potential advertising company or marketing company don't at the outset include things like, what are you trying to do? What's your goals? And how do you measure the success against that? Then I suggest you, as the potential payer of the potential funder of advertising, make sure that happens, or reevaluate whether that conversation is going in the direction you want, whether that relationship can be of value to you. So, successful discovery meeting, I now know what the problem is as explicitly as possible, what the metrics of success are. We agree that is both the problem, and here are the ways that we can work together to solve that. And the ball now, it goes from volley to the ball being in my court. I take that information and bring in lots of smart people to do an analysis. Here's the secret. There's nothing new under the sun. You do what has worked before. And one of the valuable components of working with a company that has a certain longevity in the space is that they've seen problems like yours. They know how other companies have solved those problems. They've helped other companies solve problems like yours, or companies in your space solve problems. And they can pull up that information and use that to inform the analysis. I think this is really the key for, I found it to be a key component, perhaps the key component in building a good analysis of how to solve a problem. What's worked before? Here at the Puget Sound Business Journal, I'm able to derive information from not just the Puget Sound Business Journal, but all the other city business journals in the form of case studies, and find that analog. And usually I can search for it in a number of different ways. I can search for it as under the category of similar types of companies, whether that's an accounting company or whether it's an HR company or an insurance company, or I can search for it based upon the problem I'm trying to solve. What is the key performance indicator? What do we want to achieve? Ideally, you search on both factors. For example, If there's a company that wants to position themselves as industry experts, I can see what they did. In this case, it was an accounting company, and they definitely wanted to position themselves, build that type of presence in the marketplace. And the Cincinnati version of the Puget Sound Business Journal developed a plan for Grant Thornton. And that plan included content production and ownership. It's actually pretty smart. They did a survey, and that survey then becomes data that they can present and effectively own that data and deliver to the marketplace the idea that Grant Thornton is so smart, so on their game, that they are developing a data set that I can use. This is one way to position yourself as a thought leader, because that was the KPI that this accounting company wanted. Another case study, in this case, it was a telecommunications company, and they wanted, yes, to increase brand recognition, but they also wanted to drive sales leads. So it's tactical. The first one was more strategic. This is more tactical. And as a case study, I can look at this and say, well, a similar company might want to have leads of, new potential customers for backup care. What are the tactical initiatives that the Sacramento version of the Puget Sound Business Journal utilized? Well, they utilized, you can see that on the bottom left-hand corner, some call to action, click here type of advertising to develop a lead base. So KPIs, which you found in the discovery meeting, help determine in the analysis what you are going to present back to the customer. Informing that is what has worked before. You do the analysis, then you serve up the proposal. So it's volley, then back and forth, and then balls on our court, and then you serve up the proposal. Proposal is a big word. It need not take a formal presentation. For example, you want to cover certain things in the proposal. You want it to tie back to the discovery meeting. The problem defined there, you want to solve the problem. You want to know what the KPIs are. You want to be able to deliver against those KPIs. This advertising solution will solve the problem. Here's how we know that. Those are the key performance indicators we talked about at the discovery meeting. You want 2 or 3 of those key performance indicators because you want to manage your risk. If you're presenting a solution and it has a particular key performance indicator, but that's not the one they want, the proposal can be dead in the water. So you find multiple ways to show that what you're presenting will be successful. You don't want any surprises. Just as the key before was to find an analog of what works, the key here in the proposal is no surprises, because it's based on that initial discovery meeting, the most important part of the process, because it informs every step of the way. You also check for typos. 2 proposal examples. Here's that less formal one. It's an email. You wanted to get it out right away. Great to talk to you today. Here's what we suggest. Here's how much it will cost. Here's why it will work. We have some people here who almost always present their proposals in this way. And it works. It has a degree of urgency to it. We also can do formal proposals, and that is a whole megillah of things. You build in a proposal set that has different screens that go into credibility, that give you a spreadsheet in the middle there of what you're actually delivering. And it also follows up with case studies to show that show the prospect of what you speak. Formal proposals are a thing. I'm not sure they're my thing. I tend to like this, but culturally, this is what the Puget Sound Business Journal likes to do. We're going to tighten up. It seems like the presentation could be a bit livelier in these formal proposals. We're working on that. So you do the proposal. Now it's the thrill of victory or the agony of defeat. It's a waiting game. It's the consideration. This is where you live or die. This is my life so much these days. Of course, it's a numbers game. The more proposals you have out, the more likely one will come in or two will come in. And Brian knows this particularly well. It very much is getting enough in the pipeline that waiting game, a percentage is going to come back no. A percentage is going to come back, well, we'll think about it maybe next year. And a percentage is going to come back yes. The more, the better. This is the end of part one because we always end on a cliffhanger, just like Dune. It's the waiting game. And that's not me waiting there. I wish I could grow a beard like that, but looks a little bit like Matt. Matt's waiting there for the proposal to come in. Now, Matt, do I have any minutes left?
You have a grand total of 10 seconds left.
Because I was going to go into elements of an ad that work and don't work, because that's always fun. Things that, circles and point and arrows.
You can save that for your next presentation, Mike.
There you go.
I will.
Or one-to-one, right?
Yeah, or one-to-one. And I would love to do one-to-ones because, again, discovery meeting sounds like it's a big thing. It really is a conversation. The more conversations, the better. And they need not lead to anything but me being more knowledgeable about what you do. And I love that.
Okay. Well, Mike, now's the time to get open your mind for the questions that we'll hit you with. So somebody,
great,
give him a question. I can see everyone fumbling for the mute.
So Mike, did you say that the data you're pulling is from your nationwide database, not just the Seattle Puget Sound database?
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So we are part of a network of business journals, 44 of them.
Wow.
All of them have been around for decades.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them have, they've seen everything under the sun. And they've done a particularly good job here of archiving it.
Yeah.
And so I do have that data to draw upon.
Excellent. Very cool. Thank you.
Michael, how long does an average business advertise with your organization?
We would like to have more businesses work with them so that we can develop an annual advertising plan. This typically happens in fourth quarter. And so we take it year by year. The ones that work, when it works best, we have a plan for the year and we execute on that plan. And there may be some things that come up during the year that we revise. That's about 50% of our clientele. The other 50%, it's situational. They have something they need to do, product rollout, advertise an RFP, a promotion. And that can be something that has a specific time frame for a month, 6 months. We have some long-standing customers who build their plan year after year after year and have done so for decades.
Okay, so that was a very politically correct answer. It was
Well, so the real answer is the real answer is that I think the market is shifting. Mm-hmm. A lot of companies are not doing it. Fewer companies are doing annual plans. More are doing it situational. And part of that is because digital advertising is easy to execute, less expensive, and more measurable. And you can figure out what's working and then change things with digital advertising.
But I'm gonna retort on that though, because yes, and the other reality is you have a database that is massive. You have a reach that is impressive, way beyond anything I thought it was. And you have more of a proven form factor versus anyone who's just casting the widest possible net for the smallest amount of money into the ether. You have potentially a level of targeting that may not be as attainable through some of the other options, some of the other options.
That's correct.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Any other questions?
I mean, this may be kind of a lame question, but And Mike, I sent you an email while you were presenting, saying like, I know we had our one-on-one, but we need to talk further on a couple of things. But as a business owner and as someone who has now, been looking to reach out to more businesses, right? Like my question is, well, what's like the average ROI for
Right.
like a smaller business looking to reach out with other businesses?
Yeah. So we look at print, for example, as offering an average ROI of about 4 to 1. $1,000 spent in print for many of our customers seems to lead to about $4,000 of converted new business.
Is
Yeah,
that annually or just
in terms of when they're, what their spend is at any given moment. If they are buying X, they're getting 4X in return.
got it?
Now, so we have some advertisers that are not measuring it in terms of sales. What they want to do is position themselves as thought leaders.
Oh.
Or they want to build brand equity, or they want to congratulate one of their CEOs for being named the top CEO in the region. That's a different metric, and that's why that discovery meeting to determine the metric of success is so important, because that has a different return on investment.
Okay, good. Any other questions? It looks like you got a lot of activity in the chat window, Mike.
Oh my gosh.
You're going to have, well, but no, you'll have one-to-ones that will culminate after this, which is good, because that means people are being, valuing our times. Mike, I just like the transition that you've gone through from BizX into this now. I think this is fascinating. Honestly, I'm still a BizX member. I love it. So we'll shelve that. This feels like a good fit for you, because I know your history, right? History and print, history and everything, frankly, that has got you to this. So I kind of admire the direction that this is going to take you.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Plus, and I love BizX too. I'm still a bit of FOB.
But we're not allowed to talk about them anymore because they're no longer members. So they're dead to me. No, Okay. Any other quick questions? If not, we'll go ahead and move into the speech breakout. Dun, dun, dun. Hearing none. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I really don't want to wipe out my face, which some people may have a different opinion there, but I'm going to go ahead and bring up the tinier version. Boom. Let's talk about the speech breakout. So this is the difficult part. This is where Mike doesn't get to contribute unless we screw something up. This is where we talk about what people and or businesses would need the presenter's services. Ready, set, go.
Yeah, the target market's definitely businesses that are trying to reach the Puget Sound area and that have a specific goal in mind. It sounds like that you guys will tailor solutions or tailor articles specifically to fit a need. So obviously someone that just comes and says, I need to advertise, it doesn't sound like that would be a good fit. Someone that's like, oh no, I need to reach people in this neighborhood. I need to reach, this kind of decision maker is a better fit for you.
It's funny, in my world back in print media, because I actually worked for a newspaper once, those were called lost dogs. So you don't necessarily want the lost dog posters or, people who are just, going to pay for something that is just taking up a little corner and it's basically a lost dog ad and it disappears after 30 days. Hint that dogs are seldom found.
So they thought leaders and people who really need to maybe disrupt or stand out, or they've got a lot of competition. So they're like, how do we do it just a little bit better? They're in that standing out phase where they got to really look the part.
Yeah, I'm fascinated with the whole thought leaders concept, because last time I checked, that doesn't keep the roof over my head. So I'd love to be in a position where I can afford to advertise in a journal like this for the exposure and not the financial return. That makes me twinge or twitch, because I'm not there yet. But that's a really fascinating avenue from a marketing and advertising perspective. Great problem to have for them. Any other thoughts there? If not, we'll move on to, to an extent, sort of the same thing, but slightly different with digital PNA, key conversations. What's going to trigger in our brain a referral? What should we be, what comments should members be out there leaving and or tagging? So if we're out there on our social media pages, if we're out there in other networking groups, how can we potentially drive these key conversations to bring referrals Mike's way?
It seems based off of the demographics that you were showing on the beginning, we need to be looking for the people that are, or listening for people asking about reaching high net worth individuals, because that is what they are. Now, how they attain high net worth may get into some other like specifics of what specific campaign or targeting the article would need. But that seems to be that if you're looking to get in front of those specific people, that seems to be a good introduction.
Yeah, or someone who's like, gosh, how do you get to the decision maker? Like, I know that they exist, but how do I get through all the, thousands of employees and get to the guy at the top or the gal at the top? So people that are really looking forward to that. Also, people who are like, I'm just tired of running my own ads, like Facebook advertising. I don't know if I'm doing it right. Like, how can I access a team that has way more sophisticated and savvy experience?
Sure. Okay. Any other thoughts? I also want to just mention, I believe Mara has to leave at the top of the hour. So when that happens, Mara, you're welcome just to give us a wave and see ya. But leave your contact information in the chat window, since I know you've not connected with Matt. And I saw Matt's ears perk up during your commercial. So I'm sensing maybe a one-to-one thing at some point, because Mara's company is incredible. Okay. Beneficial syndications. Marcel, I'm going to put you on the spot again. I'm just bad at describing this. Tell me your
places where we could take either a video or a blog post from Michael. Where are we going to put this information, if not to our own email databases, and or maybe like an interview if people want to interview Michael to do a discovery session live, or just ideas on where we could syndicate this content to help him get more discovery sessions.
Okay. Well, thank you. And I think you just answered it. I think you would do a great interview, Mike. So if one of us is bold enough to take that on, and I know you're still going through some training, so don't shake your head, but you're doing this well. You're doing them right, man. PSG should be proud of you, or PGSound, PS, whatever. They should be proud of you. But at the same time, yeah, if you've got any shorts that you could help us to help you, send it out to us. We can turn around and syndicate that for you.
That's exactly the plan. Yep.
Yeah, excellent. And any other thoughts there from?
Well, and I think like accounting firms, legal firms, any type of professional like business center or hub. Like, I don't think I've ever physically had a copy of this journal, and so like, how do you get it into those hands of people? And the chambers aren't necessarily like a brick and mortar, so that may not work. But think of those, offices where smart people gather.
I love chamber meetings, and in fact, that's part of my plan too.
You better be there next week then, buddy. Next Tuesday, right?
I think of like the I don't know, like if the SBA is something that you're connected with, but I think of like people when they're starting out. I know when I was starting out, like it would have been helpful for me to have even an idea of what an advertising plan could look like, and even like the discovery meeting that you were talking about, getting in early, and that can actually help guide, versus someone that's been doing it for a while that is just now starting to figure out how to get out there. It would be beneficial from an earlier point in their process, having that discovery meeting.
I think the discovery meeting is the under celebrated part of the entire process.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Good. Okay.
You don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
And you don't even know what you don't know, Ugh, stress. Okay, other business categories. I am actually going to pop up a different screen really quickly here. Boy, thank you, screen because it leads directly into it. What are the business categories can we bring in as guests to Digital PNA? Lock the door behind them so they can't escape. Get them to join. Aside from what's on this list, even though I do want you to take a close look, take a look at this. And what are the businesses can we bring in to help Mike's business in particular? Because it's all about Mike today. Grow.
I could potentially see like a business coach, because when you mentioned the thought leader thing, business coaches are oftentimes, involved in those kinds of, because like a positioning yourself as a thought leader and spending advertising money to do that is a very specific goal.
Right.
That's not something that you do willy-nilly. And I feel like a business coach or consultant would be a good fit, because they'll be running into that kind of person, because obviously they're spending money on their own personal development, and they're spending money on their own business's development as far as structurally. So I think that might be a good fit.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Any other categories that we don't see on the screen here that we also might want to consider? And Mike, will break the rules and let you chime in here if you have a particular one that you have either been told, since you're new enough at the job, is a valuable resource for leads. What would that be?
Well, we the best situation for us is working with other advertising professionals, like advertising agencies, because they are often they're able to sort through all this information, create a plan for their clients, and we hope that we can be a viable part of that plan. So ad agencies, small, medium, and large, are really partners for us.
Okay, excellent. Good. Sorry, I lost my brain there. Kudos. Ideas for future presentations. I think Mike alluded towards some of the magic he's going to bring to us at a future one. But what else would we want to hear from Mike in future presentations?
I'd love to see some examples of some of the articles that have played well. What are the ones that have done well and why? Because that's always something that is always a bit of a mystery to me when it comes to marketing, is what kind of content are people consuming and connecting with? It's always a little bit of a Pandora's box question.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly. That's part two. No, thank you, Matt. That's great. Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, I love the simplicity of the tennis match, the serve, and I thought that was really well done, because to me advertising is very complicated. It's a huge topic, and you actually made it very simple and approachable, which is really admirable. So great job.
That was fun.
Yeah. I fear I understand tennis now more than I understand on Business Journal, but maybe I do need a one-to-one now, because now I'm interested in sport as well. So I'm really conflicted, Mike, but thank you. Mara, I think I'm sorry.
I'll hop off in a minute, but I just wanted to say, I appreciated the fact that you as a business owner, the statement that you made about not just when you're dealing with potential companies that you want to partner with to advertise, having that discovery meeting, but also if someone's just going to want to take your money from the get-go, it's a red flag. And that's, as someone is constantly approached for here, they don't offer, to actually sit down and take the time to discover your needs.
Again, it is exactly what attracted that. That was the first thing that they asked me here. What's your style? Because I'm sure that they've hired people here, or they've worked with people who, for better or for worse, are out there pitching all the time, hard sell. And that's just not what I do, and that's not what it is expected of me here, and it doesn't fit the product.
That's great. Outstanding. Okay, Mary, if you have to go, have a wonderful rest of your day. She's the keynote speaker at the next Mill Creek Chamber Lunch and Learn. Just so you all know, that's in 2 Tuesdays. So it's the 3rd Tuesday of the month. So
oh no, I'm gonna miss it. I'm speaking at Snohomish that week. Shoot.
Oh,
Will you
well,
record it? Have Brian
Well,
record for
you
you.
see me talk, Marcel.
I know. Be there.
Whoa, you just got wicked jazz hands there,
Oh,
Marcel.
those are cute.
Yeah, it was.
All right.
But real quick for the notes that I took, what I was typing up, do I just put those in the chat or do I send those to you after? It's my first day.
Go ahead and email it to you if you're willing. Go ahead and email
Okay, perfect.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Mara.
thanks. Nice to
Appreciate
see
it.
you all again. Nice to meet you, Matt.
Great
Take
to
care.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Okay, so with that being said, I'm not going to put up the screen for referrals or testimonials, but it is actually referrals and testimonials time. So if anybody has something, please speak toward it. I've got something, but I'm happy to go at the end. Anyone have a referral or testimonial? And our guest can just say something about himself or his cool hair, or a testimonial about someone here, whatever.
Well, I will just say that I would like to do a one-to-one with Michael with your new company and do a discovery for Dreamosity. Because while I know some things, I definitely do not know all the things. And the fact that you have all that data just fascinates me and I want to learn.
I
A
would-
little drool right there. Yeah, a little drool.
Yeah, see if it might be a good fit.
I love that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
And Brian, I mentioned to you at a meeting a while ago that I went to a junior achievement fundraiser. They desperately need an MC/auctioneer. I'll put you in touch with Tammy there, who might not be the right person, but is a VP there that can get to the right person.
And
Oh, look at that.
And she can pick the tux, man. I mean, just let me know. I've actually had people contact me saying, I want to pick the tux. I'm like, that's creepy. Okay, thank you. Well, good, thank you. I definitely look forward to that introduction. Anyone else have a testimonial or referral?
I was just gonna mention that this Friday I'm gonna be up north.
Ooh.
So if anybody wants to catch a one-on-one with me, I'll probably be in the Mill Creek area. I'd say 10:30ish, 11. So
Yeah.
hit me up and we can do a lunch or coffee or whatever.
Cool. Thank you, Rosie.
I did want to give a testimonial about, but she's not here, but the lawyer that was here last week. I can't
Mia?
remember her name. I'm bad with names.
That was
Mia.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe she'll watch this on the video, but I had kind of like a consultation with her. And I actually probably will use her, when the time is right and the funds, because the way she described things, like when she's doing engagement letters, she's like, we just don't put together an engagement letter. We actually sit with you for like a half hour or so and get into your brain about what's worked, what hasn't, what problems you have, and all that stuff. So, knowing that my business is, expanding, I'm just like, yeah, I'm probably gonna need to revamp my contract quite a bit.
That's great.
So, yeah.
That's
So
wonderful.
she's really great. I like her.
Rosie, you should reach out to her and invite her back to here too, because we haven't heard from her. But that's wonderful to hear. Okay, real quick, anyone else? Okay. Public apology. I owe Matt stuff. I still owe Matt stuff. I've owed Matt stuff for a while. He's going to look at my car insurance and possibly home insurance. I know it makes more sense to bundle things, but it's a really weird situation with me, which should shock no one. So you may just want to avoid that part with the 10-foot pole, Matt. But either way, we'll have a furthering conversation, and I'll see if I can get you what you need to at least get that initial ball rolling. And then I want to give a huge kudo. Speaking of the tangent today, I've done at least, actually, I did one video recently with Rosie when she was also up north. I took her out to lunch and we had a conversation about the fact that she was going to start a PNA chapter physically out of Olympia. And then she drove her little tiny self all the way down there and did it. And she had a great opening last week. And we've got 2 or 3 memberships pending, at least 2 submissions in as well. It's just great. And you had a great meeting this morning with at least one more guest. I'm like putting words in your mouth right now, but you've already told me about this. So she's just making it happen. And if any of you need a bulldog in your life, she's the one. I know how she takes care of her clients from the accounting and tax perspective. So that's brilliant. But when it comes to ramping up a PNA, holy crap, this woman's on fire. So Rosie, thank you. I
You're welcome.
really admire your energy. I don't know where it comes from. Possibly a string it back. Someone just pulls them. But I think you're brilliant and fun sized, and I appreciate your energy and what you're bringing to PNA, helping the organization spread and take over the world, because we're going to do it, Matt.
Yeah.
He looks like a doubter. We're going to do it, Matt. Say it with me. Okay. Anyway, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right, I'm like the tangent king here. We need to go into at least 2 more shared screens. And once again, it's still not easy with this. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. Can you see that okay? I clicked the screen I haven't clicked before, and it is actually showing the right one. So that is our speaker rotation. Not to put anyone that looks like Errol Flynn on the spot, but if we were to get a submission for membership, I could add that person in here at some point. But we do have 6 members, so it's a wee bit of a fast rotation right now. But that's what we're looking at. Rosie, you're next. You ready for that? You ready to rumble? Okay, let's get together and have a party with your slide deck. Okay. Looking forward to hearing more stuff from her. And then it goes right into Karen, and then me, and then beyond. So, and like I said, I put it in red there. If you want a longer speaker rotation, let's get some guests. Let's get some people to join, and then poof, it's magic. It even uses the new math. It just extends out that speaker rotation. The more people we have here twice a month. And then last but not least, this is just some local stuff happening. I'd love to get some less than local things going on. So as Rosie becomes more and more embedded in the Thurston County Olympia area, Rosie, feel free to send me some things prior to the meeting if you've got something you want us to help market for you. But we do have a fun comedy show coming up. So we'll put that in the notes. And the Discover Your Mix series, for those of you who, I think you all know this, but that starts on Friday at the Mill Creek Chamber training office. So it's like right behind the office through a magical closed door, but it opens up and you can put 30 people in a room with a nice big screen and everything. So we'll utilize that space ideally for the next 7 weeks as we teach our 6 methods. And if you're good at math, you're going to wonder why it's 7 and 6. It's because the last week, 2-hour session, it's an opportunity to deliver what you've spent the last 6 weeks learning. It's a really, really fun end of the way, or way to end out the 7 weeks with everyone in attendance. And then more growth. We've got the Snohomish chapter guest day. That's a great chapter. Matt is actually El Presidente in that one. He's running a phenomenal meeting. And so we'll have an open house tomorrow at 11:50. It's the only one except for DigitalPNA that is a 12 to 1 meeting. All the other ones are AMs. But also Shoreline is going to be doing a soft launch this Friday also in the morning. It's Zoom for the first time to just do a meet and greet, but we've actually just secured as of this morning the venue. So we do have the venue for Shoreline, and they're likely going to start next week face to face. So if you're not a member, or excuse me, a fan of or like the PNA page on Facebook, I'd love it if you were to consider jumping up there. And it's simply facebook.com/PNAnw. And then you can like it and follow all the events. And sometimes even if you can't go, it'd be great just to cheat the algorithm and hit interested, because that helps keep things live in everyone else's view as well. So we're actually technically done, which is weird because, you know, it's okay if we ourselves going, no. I'm not saying we're going to close it out, but we've gone through the slides. So
Can we circle back to the original purpose of DigitalPNA being people bring a video or a link for us to talk about and share, and then get feedback on, oh, I didn't like that video, that's why I didn't share it, and or, oh, of course I shared it because it was freaking fantastic. So if we have time, I'd love to bring that up. And maybe we need a slide for that moving forward, Brian, because we keep missing it.
Well, and you're absolutely right. That is one of the things I was going to mention in this allotted time, since we do have time now. If you've yet to subscribe to the PNA YouTube page as well, I'm posting all of these videos as well. Now, the average Joe or Jane out there is not going to randomly sit and watch a 90-minute video. But on occasion, you could share out today's, for example, or the previous one where Mara gave her presentation, or the one before that where Marcel killed it talking about Dreamosity services, right? So you could share that out. You could tag the people that were in the video, that sort of thing, and help everyone from the syndication perspective. And Marcel, this is definitely more your skill set. If you have any other ideas, let's go ahead and cover that. Or if anybody has questions on the what or the who's and the how.
Yeah, just I guess my question is, do you guys have a video from the last, I don't know, 90 days of activities, a podcast, a great blog post, something you've written or done that you're like, I want eyeballs on it, I want comments, I want maybe shares. And if not, I would love to help you guys with making something that's worth, moving around, but that's part of the purpose of the digital PNA that's different than the other chapters. So if you find yourselves not having content, please let me assist. And then if you have a video, now would be the time to go out there and find that link and tell us, why it's worth it. Like this last weekend, for example, I ended up watching a whole TEDx series out of Portland because one of my networking buddies was on the TEDx stage in Portland, and it was so amazing. But I don't know what you guys are watching and or creating that's worth getting people to talk about. And so this is just an encouragement and reminder. And I've got a link I'm going to go pick. I probably make more than I should. So which one do I want to share about? Like I have the opposite problem maybe. But Michael, do you have, are they giving you digital stuff?
Well, yes, but what I need is to get us to more fully embrace the video components. For example, I'm encouraged and do take articles that the editorial team creates, post them on LinkedIn with some commentary that functions as a way to highlight the credibility and authority of the Puget Sound Business Journal. It's an article, it's professionally done. I attach myself to it on LinkedIn. Talk to me if you want to be, in front of the audience. What we haven't done is migrate that dynamic to moving pictures, to video, to something that is more engaging. And I need to get the team here or there. So yes, the short answer is I'm syndicating through like LinkedIn, but not optimizing it by using video.
Okay, cool. And I just dropped a link in there. So Instagram was it Monday morning? So my friend, she interviewed me Monday morning and then Friday afternoon to do a follow-up conversation, which I thought was a very clever tactic. So it wasn't just a one-time thing. Feel free to check that out. It's like 7 or 8 minutes. If you like it, or if you have a question, leave a comment. If you want to do something like that with me for your channel or my channel or vice versa, I do think that the conversation is different when we're not just kind of rambling on, but someone else is like, oh, tell me more. Can you explain this and further, right? When we interview, it just changes it in a really cool way. So if you want to interview me about data art, I would love that in so many ways. And if I can interview you about something as a thank you or just a helpful thing, I'm happy to do that because I have more time than not right now. And so if you guys want to collaborate with me, I'm very open to that. And it's free to do, right? We don't have to pay hundreds of dollars to create this type of content, which I think is a total win.
So I put in it looks like Marcel's already doing stuff. I put in the chat window, of course, if anyone has any Insta, TikTok, Facebook, etc., you want to have us document and make sure that we get it into the notes. I'm putting a few laugh tech things here. Marcel, you might know this, Matt, you might know this, but I'm constantly frustrated with YouTube in the sense that I know we have a handle. It should be like youtube.com/channel/LaughTechNW. I can never get that to come up. And of course, I'm looking at it as a logged in admin person, so I'm probably not getting the same thing. If anyone can find what the freaking Laugh Tech one is, it'd be great.
I know at one point in time I subscribed to that.
Yeah. It's just
that is not the right one.
It's so weird. I don't know if anyone else has that problem, but it's frustrating. And yeah, Marcel, I got the Laugh Tech one. Thank you in the chat window.
So Brian, out of all the 3 that we did together last week or 2 weeks ago. Is there one of those where you're like, oh my gosh, Matt, please share this. Michael, please share this. Rosie, please share this. Like,
Honestly, I think the blooper reel that you did unbeknownst to me until it was posted was the best.
okay, but will that sell our workshops this Friday?
No, but I got to call you pasty.
I know.
Because the light actually totally whitewashed out her face because of our lighting. But
Well-
so it happens when you come visit the podcast studio here. But yeah, no, it was really funny. No, I think the one talking about our Discovery Mix series, which has gotten some decent views. No conversion yet.
Yeah, I did find the URL. It's youtube.com/@LaughTechNW.
See, there's no way as an admin to see that. Like that, like even LinkedIn says view it as your profile, and when you view your profile when you do that, shows
there is.
how
I
customers.
can show you.
Okay, well, show me at some point, Matt. Thank you. Someone put it in the darn chat window.
I already did.
You're a rock star. Look at that. Wonder what happens when I click on it. Oh, look at that. Yeah, and if for anyone who hasn't subscribed yet, please do, because I do think it's sad that we only have 54 subscribers. And that's on me, because there's years I wasn't creating videos, and Marcel was
Ooh, those look good, Michael.
very patient with me. Oh, nice.
Networking galore.
Nice.
Are they all in Seattle or any of them on the north end? Do you know?
Well, it's interesting you mention that. There is a strategic initiative here to increase our presence in the North End, both in terms of editorial content and, not coincidentally, events. So over the next year, there'll be a lot more in Tacoma and a lot more in and around Everett.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've got. I know I did an interview with a mortgage broker friend of mine that is basically kind of going over, like I said, one of the most popular topics in insurance. Why in the world is insurance going up so much, and what can you do about it? So once that does get published on YouTube, then I'll be sharing that link out, and I'll probably be connecting it also back to our blogs as well. But yeah, nothing.
Wonderful.
Part of it's just I've been freakishly busy over the past week. Of several weeks actually, so I have not been as disciplined about my content game as I have been previously.
Yeah.
Great problem.
No worries. So Matt, when you get that, feel free to do reply all to the minutes I'll send out from today, just to get this group of people, access to that, because that sounds like a really important topic.
Cool.
Yeah.
And Matt, are you finding that there's a lot of interest in insurance as a topic right now, given the nature of the current environment?
Yeah, like for instance, if you're in a bunch of Facebook groups, you'll probably see someone about once a day or once every other day, in different community groups complaining about insurance costs. Like for instance, there's also been some pretty newsworthy things, like the New York Times did a story of finding out that GM, Honda, Hyundai, Kia are all actually selling your driving information to insurance companies without anyone's knowledge or consent.
Wow.
So there's a lot of things that are newsworthy, in addition to, for instance, that F5 tornado that went through was in Nebraska, and there hadn't been one down there in 12 years or so. And those kinds of catastrophic losses are the things that really drive, it's large enough billion-dollar losses that start to hit reinsurers. Reinsurers are the investment groups that are behind insurance companies. And when it impacts them, then they raise their rates, then every single insurance policy downstream has to get more expensive to compensate. So there's a lot of mechanics that are going on, a lot of things that people are getting into. And then when on the local level for news, we are going to get a new insurance commissioner. I had coffee with her a couple weeks ago because she's running unopposed. No one else is going after that, and she's very interesting. But she's I'm kind of glad, because I'm not in health insurance for a lot of reasons, but one of the things is that our new insurance commissioner will be attacking health insurance in Washington pretty aggressively because of some personal experiences and things she's seen. But yeah, lots of stuff going on.
Crazy. Okay, does anybody else have anything else they want to share or speak toward? If not, we can just close a few minutes early. Matt, thank you for visiting today. I appreciate it. It's great to see you.
Totally happy to stop by.
I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.